Hello, welcome to another episode of Generation 3 of the Perfect Genetics Challenge. We are living in Lucky Palms now. I've added lots of venues from my library. We've seen most of them. That's the casino just in front there. I've made some changes inside to that. This is a little park that is behind City Hall, and the wishing well is in the park too. The wishing well is one of many items that came with the world. I usually have a wishing well on one of my home lots, and it is currently in the basement of the main household in this game. On the other side of the City Hall is the festival grounds, which is the Central Park. It's the summer festival at the moment. And that is a venue that I got with the Katy Perry Sweet Treats stuff pack. I didn't add a bakery to the world, so I have added some bakery racks in there. The Sims can go and buy cakes, cafe, restaurant sort of thing. And the wedding venue that I made especially for mountain lakes. I enjoy having small weddings in that venue occasionally, so I've put it into Lucky Palms just in case somebody wants to have a wedding. That's the front of the wedding venue there. And this Sweetie Treats roller coaster that's in my studio, that's another thing that's made almost exclusively from things from the Katy Perry Sweet Treats pack. And across the road from the roller coaster is some Showtime venues. Bill works at the coffee house, which is one of the 3 venues there. And here, on top of the hill, we find the bistro that came with Lucky Palms. It's a real landmark. You can just see it from most parts of the world, and I suspect the view from one of those tables there would be amazing. It's good to see the telescopes there as well. I'll have to get somebody to go there one day. I won't be doing it in this episode. Now let's go and have a look at the main household. This is going to be an action-packed episode, including birthdays, a secret private wedding, and other things. That's Poppy sitting there playing chess and little Bindi running around. Bindi aged up to elder in the previous episode. And that's the greenhouse above the building there. Clark wanted to improve his fishing skill, so I sent him to the local pond, which is very small and not far from their house. I could have sent him to the wishing well that's in the basement, can catch fish in there, but I thought he should get out into the fresh air and do some fishing in the wild. The next day, Clark needed some new scrap, and he went to the junkyard that I'd placed, and he found that his grandparents-in-law, Don and Olivia, were already there. They were leaving just as he arrived. They live across the road in the barn. They've got a luxury apartment underground. Cindy and Bill live there as well. I think we'll leave him there. He's happy. And he spent hours there digging through various scrap piles. I hope he found enough scrap. Back at home, Donna, Clark's pregnant wife, is at home, and her father, Bill, is sitting there reading at the chess table. Bill is staying with them at the moment. Donna's decided to carry Coco the cat to some other location. She is expecting their first baby. It will be the first birth for Generation 3. I hope Coco enjoys being in the new spot. Doesn't look like it, he's run off. Across the other side of the courtyard is study, and there is Poppy playing with Bindi, and Bill is chatting with Connor. Poppy and Connor are both imaginary friends made real. The Sim sitting at the computer in his swimwear is Damien. He is one of the twins who were the youngest set of twins of Bill and Cindy. That's Patsy. She is imaginary friend made real. Her previous owner was Eunice, and Eunice is Damien's twin sister, and Connor is Damien's imaginary friend made real. The time has come to try out the new birthday party room. We're going to have the birthday of Oliver, who is the youngest uncle of Donna. Oliver's parents are the founder, Olivia and Don. And his imaginary friend made real is Poppy, and she will age up as well. Now, Poppy and Oliver have a secret that nobody in the household knows anything about. They got married secretly, had a private wedding. So it's going to be interesting. When they've aged up to young adult, they'll suddenly pop on their wedding rings. They'll be able to move to Vice City. Whenever there's been a romance between a couple of teens in a household, I've moved them to Vice City without moving them on to weddings and children and things. But as a result, Vice City's got almost no children and teens in it. There's only one teen that I moved in there. So I've decided that this pair can have a little family before they move, which is why I allowed them to get married while they were still teens. Actually, I was very surprised that they were able to do that. And when the option came up, I said private wedding, and they went through with it. But they couldn't do anything else. Oh, there goes Bill. He's heading off for work. And it's time to eat cake. There's Donna in that dress that the game is forcing her to wear. I think it is her pregnancy formal attire. I don't know why she's dressed in a formal, actually. Most of the other Sims at the party appear to be in their sleepwear, except for Donna. And there's Poppy. She will be aging up next. With so many Sims having moved out, I think this is about the smallest birthday party we've had in this game for quite a long time. I think just about everybody is even going to get a piece of cake. We might be able to get them all to sit at the same table. I put another table just outside with another 8 chairs just in case we need to accommodate for more Sims later in the game. The other table that seats 8 Sims is just through the other archway from this room. It's in the adjoining room. They won't have any problems tracking it down if they need to find somewhere to sit while they eat their cake. And while they're all enjoying their pieces of cake, Bill is just arriving at work. This is where he works. He works at the coffee house. He was working in the coffee house back in Appaloosa Plains as well. Unfortunately, this coffee house is quite a long way from home, whereas the other one wasn't too far for him to travel to get to work. And now it's time for Poppy to blow out her candles. She's blown out her candles and made her wish, and now she's about to spin into her young adult form. I wonder what new trait she's going to end up with. Her husband, Oliver, managed to get a handy trait. You have to work on that skill. I think she might get nurturing, because I think she's going to have a few babies. We've got to populate Vice City with some younger Sims. Oh, she's got the pigtails. We'll deal with that soon enough. She is going to be gorgeous when she's had her makeover. I'll only change her hair and outfits. I don't do anything else to her. So now we all eat cake again. Fortunately, she wasn't one of twins, so we've only got 2 birthdays, one for Oliver and one for his imaginary friend made real, who's also his wife, Poppy. Oliver was a baby that Olivia had just before she aged up to elder. So he is the youngest brother of Cindy, and Cindy is the mother of Donna. So he is Donna's uncle, even though he is younger than Donna.
Yay, boo. Earth no. Meep, meep. Harwo.
Looks like Donna is pregnant at the moment. I'd forgotten what she was up to. That's her pregnancy formal outfit, I know that for sure. When I put that wall in down at the end, now where Connor is now, I wondered what to put there because it was just a funny little empty space. Looks like it needed a cupboard there or something. And then I realised I didn't put a sink in the birthday party room, and there really wasn't any room for it. And there was a long way for them to walk to the kitchen. So I put a sink and a couple of cupboards there with a party fridge. And I recoloured the fridge white to go with the sink and the cupboards there. So they can just walk into this next room to wash their dishes. That's through that archway, and there's another archway from this room, and that's where they go to the extra table. But on the other side of that wall, where the fridge is, where they're washing their dishes now, is the spiral staircase that's coming up from the basement downstairs, and it lets them run out. It's almost near the front door, so they can go catch the school bus and not miss it, hopefully. And now it's time for Poppy to get her makeover and get rid of those pigtails. And here they are, alone. This was Poppy's room, and now it belongs to both of them because they are both aged up. They've got their wedding rings, they're married, and they can now be together. And the whole reason for them getting married was so they could start having babies before I move them to Vice City. And I definitely want them in Vice City fairly quickly. So we're going to have babies soon. And this is where I realised how annoying it is to have the group science project just outside that bedroom window, and some townie's turned up and is using it, and that was really annoying. To do something about that. All of that noise doesn't seem to have bothered them at all. They're just too happy to be together at last. Well, that seems to have worked. I heard chimes. I guess she's pregnant now. Baby's on the way, with 2 pregnant ladies in the household at the moment. What fun's coming up? Yes, that is definitely a townie using that group science project. I can't just tell her to stop. So it's time for a reset sim, I think. And then I'm going to build a fence around that group science project and put gates in it and lock the gates. That's keep the townies out anyway. And I can prevent various members of the household from using it as well, because any of the Sims that are going to move out to live in another world, I do not want them to get up to level 10 in science while they're still living in this household, because their group science project will go into this family inventory and they won't be able to get one in their new home. So I'm going to lock certain Sims out of that thing. I can get a bit of science skill, but not up to level 10. There are spawners in that courtyard. There's lots of seeds and insects in there, and Oliver has come outside to collect a few seeds because he wants to improve his gardening skill, and the garden doesn't have very much in it yet. They're still establishing it, and he can work on his handiness skill while he's in the garden because there's lots of sprinklers that still need to be upgraded to auto water. There's a few minor pets spawning in this area as well, but I don't let them keep their minor pets that they catch. I just don't have the patience for looking after them, so they don't get kept. He's going to sell that snake eventually. So here he is in the greenhouse. He got 900 lifetime happiness points for starting to plant his seeds. There's plenty of room for lots of seeds, but I'll need to be careful not to put too many seeds in here because that could make the game difficult to control. Not able to save and that sort of thing, too much memory being used up by the garden. And later on, when they're harvesting heaps of harvestables, if they get too many harvestables in their personal inventory, the game just almost stops moving. Too many plants and too many harvestables cause major problems with lag. I'd like to try to avoid them if possible. It's easy enough to get rid of, it just takes ages to get all the junk out of their inventories. I once had a game where I put too many plants. The ones from build mode, I had so many trees and bushes on the lot that when my sim tried to walk, it was close to 5 real-time minutes between each step. So I had to manage to stop the game, pause it, which took ages, and got rid of most of the plants that I had put into that lot because they sway in the wind. There's a lot of processing power used up with them. And I eventually got my sim able to just walk across the lot, but it wasn't like a jungle anymore, which was sad. But the jungle meant the game was unplayable. Oliver has almost finished planting his seeds, but he's getting very tired. He's going to need to go and have a sleep, I think. He's in the gardening career as well, but he's still just at level 1. See how far we can get him in that career before he's got to move to Vice City.
Neo duck.
Next thing, Damien came running into the garden and started playing with the sprinklers. He is a bit of a problem with sprinklers. He just seems to be quite obsessed. Every opportunity he's in the greenhouse playing with the sprinklers. I think I might get him working on his handiness skill and start making some of them auto water, because he's unstoppable, really. He would like to do nothing but play in the sprinklers all day and all night, but I'm not about to let him get away with it. And while all that fun's been going on in the greenhouse, Donna's rushed off to hospital and she's had a baby boy. The first birth for Generation 3. We named him Barry. I have just so much trouble trying to think up names for these Sims, and I never even consider what I might call them until the birth is there and I've got to think of something that pops into my brain at that moment. And I don't think I've used Barry before in any of my games, ever. So there you go. And he got the traits eccentric and friendly. So the Generation 3 has really begun now. Unfortunately, it's a bit dark to actually see her emerging from the hospital carrying her brand new baby boy. But we do manage to see Donna and Clark arriving home with him. Once they get indoors, Donna appears to be a little subdued, not too sure what to do. But Clark's happy, he's celebrating, but he's tired, so I suppose baby better go into the cot and Mum and Dad will have to go and get some sleep. In this household, the nursery has 4 cots in it, but it's not set up for them to play in the nursery. There's a play area in a next room, and there is little Barry sound asleep in his pink cot. I often hear very loud meowing and follow the noise to find Coco the cat sitting watching the fish. She seems to be quite happy to spend a lot of her time watching the fish, and here she is, she's gone to sharpen her claws. There's plenty of facilities to make her life happy. She's got places to sleep and plenty to eat and lots of things to scratch. Hopefully she's a happy little cat, but she is going to become an elder shortly, but not in this episode. Here's Poppy having something to eat. She's sitting at the table and chairs that I've set up just outside the birthday party room. And in the distance you can see the fence that I put around the roof. That is the Jules Verne fence that I got it from ATS3, that's around The Sims 3. And this is Patsy feeding the fish. It seems great that the game just keeps these fish alive. It's always sending somebody there to keep them well fed.
Scooby, Mavi. Scooby.
Oh, Kabla Veeb!
And this is Oliver working in his garden, working on his gardening skill too. He is a gardener now, so he's going to have to sell some of his harvest if he wants to progress through the gardening career. I'll see how far ahead I can get him before I send him to live in Vice City. And Poppy's gone into the nursery to take care of baby Barry, having a little snuggle there, making him happy baby. She'll be going to Vice City too. As soon as her husband, Oliver, goes, they'll go together. This is the little water hole where Clark was fishing earlier, but this time I found Don there. Of course, he is the father of Generation 1. He lives across the road from the main house now, in the barn. They've got a luxury apartment downstairs. I showed you through that in the last episode. Poppy wanted to cut some gems in the gem cutting machine, so she had to go out and find some gems so she could cut them. And here she is, running off to where she thinks she can find a gem, and that she has found one. Now she's got to find some more, then go home and start cutting them. I was having a little look around town to see if I could find anything interesting happening, and I came across this random tourist having a swim in the pond in the graveyard. That was a creepy place to swim, I thought. Don't think I'd be doing that. After her dip, she wandered off, and then I found her crying at one of the gravestones. I had a look around the graveyard while she was there, came across the mausoleum and some graves that actually had Sims buried in them, and some statues. It was an interesting little interlude. She seems happy with that grave. Maybe she came to town on holiday to visit the grave of a long-lost friend or relative. Meanwhile, Oliver needed to go and find some more seeds. And who should I see there but Holly Hunter? She is one of the Sims that I added to Vice City. And now Oliver has just arrived and he's already found a seed. This venue is the Stones Throw greenhouse that I purchased from the Sims 3 store, and I've added a few things to it. The fruit and veggie stands at the front of the greenhouse came from the Alfresco Market venue. Back at home, Poppy suddenly stops and stands, and then she spins into her pregnancy outfit. So now she knows she's pregnant. I want her to have at least 2 babies before I send her and Oliver off to live in Vice City. Sometime later, I came across Eunice and Patsy and Oliver and Damien all sitting around the dining room table having something to eat. Then Oliver headed out to the garden to plant the seeds he had just collected at the greenhouse. It looks like the household magic gnomes are having a gnome convention out beside the swimming pool. I tried to collect all of the gnomes that I could find in the old house and add them to this one, and then I think I grabbed a couple more from buy mode just because I like to have gnomes. And there is little Bindi having a sleep on the chair and having a stretch as he wakes up. Over the last few days, little Bindi has been very busy running around the world sniffing out collectibles, and he's come out here to reconstruct the fire hydrant. Job done, he wandered off across the courtyard where Coco the cat tracked him down, and they had a little chat. They became closer friends and then spent quite a long time playing in the courtyard. Oh, there's a snake. Somebody's going to have to come and get that. I think we shall. Oops, off they go. They didn't go far, and then they kept playing together for a really long time. Much later, Bindi got hungry and ran off to eat out of their bottomless food bowl, and Poppy came out to play with Coco with the laser beam. I guess Coco might be getting a bit tired, I think. Now, Poppy is a nurturing sim, and after playing with Coco, she went into the nursery to take care of baby Barry. The garden has a picture window all the way across the front, and we can clearly see what is happening in the barn across the street. And look at all those fish jumping. I put every possible fish spawner in that little pond, and I keep thinking I really should take some out. Haven't yet though. Turning around and looking down through the garden, we can see that they've been working on their handiness skills and upgrading some of the sprinklers to auto water. There's still a few that need upgrading though. And it's time to go to school. We have 4 teens in the household now, and all 4 of them are grade A at school. The twins, Eunice and Damien, are ready to age up to young adult, but their 2 imaginary friends made real, Patsy and Connor, have still got a lot of skills to work on, so they won't be able to age up for a while. And I wouldn't want them to either, because the 2 older Sims, Oliver and Poppy, have just recently aged up to young adult. So we've got to put a bit of space between the ages of them and the younger ones. There's Cindy heading off to work. That yellow and black car they've got came with a free Christmas pack that we got early on in the series. That pack is still available, but they've taken the car out of it. So I've always got to be careful which version of it I install when I'm installing the game. And now Clark is going to work. I think he and Cindy both work at the science facility, which is very close to where they live. Oh, there's all the gnomes having another convention. They've moved. They were at the other side of the swimming pool before. Much later in the day, Donna and Clark have decided it's time to add to the family. We need to have quite a few youngsters for Generation 3. They've only got 1 so far, and we don't know if we've got an heir yet or not. So hopefully this might result in an heir for them. Otherwise we won't be able to get to Generation 4, will we? Heard the chimes. There's going to be another baby come along. She is pregnant. Donna is in the sculpting career, and she's at level 7 already. I thought she should have a job that would keep her at home if she's going to keep having babies. She just sold the toilet. That would have been a perfectly functional toilet too, but she sold it. She needs to sell things if she's going to progress in her career, and she sold that chair as well. If she keeps this up, she's going to do really well, but she needs to make a lot more stone sculptures, and she's working on stone now, but it keeps shattering and she keeps just getting gemstones. And she's got the gem cutting machine just there behind her, so she'll put that to good use later. Meanwhile, little Bindy's come across an interesting looking dog dig spot, and he's decided to dig it. I hope he finds something interesting. All those gnomes, they just jumped from beside the swimming pool down to the front of the house near the road. And there's a horse. I think it might be a wild horse, or it could be one of the 2 that live in the horse paddock there across the street. It's a bit hard to tell from this distance. Bindy's finished digging. I wonder what he found. Oliver and Poppy are having a quiet moment in the hallway, and a little bit of flirting going on there. Her little tummy's starting to show. I wonder what they'll have, if it'll be a boy or a girl. Anyway, Oliver's had enough. Oh, here's Clark. He's going to chat with Poppy as well. Later on, Clark went out into the courtyard and brushed little Bindy, and they made friends. And there's some purple butterflies fluttering around there. Poppy needed a massage, so I sent her to visit the day spa. I hope she enjoyed her massage. Patsy's reading the book she got from school for an opportunity. Demand excellence or you'll get mediocrity. And Connor is sitting beside her on the seat, playing with little Coco. That's the 2 imaginary friends made real. Their previous owners were the twins, Eunice and Damien. And here is Donna cutting some of the gems that she got when she failed sculpting stone using the gem cutting machine. I pulled all of the gems out of her inventory, put them on the floor, and I was pleased I did that because one of them is Tiberium. That could have made her very sick. So thank you for watching. This will be the end of the video. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give it a like. and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. That will help get more people to see the videos. So bye bye for now. Thank you for watching and happy simming.